Hello, friends, how are you? I hope you are doing great. There was one cold winter afternoon on the 15th of January, the year 2009, when Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger and co-pilot Jeffrey Skiles took on U.S. Airlines Flight 1549. The uneventful flight, and it had a capacity to accommodate 155 passengers, was supposed to depart from the LaGuardia Airport in New York and was destined for Charlotte, North Carolina. Perhaps they never expected this day would go down in the aviation history as one of the most historic. A few minutes after the plane left the ground and was 10 miles above New York City at 3,000 feet, something happened. Canadian geese flew into the aircraft and struck both engines badly. In a few moments, the engines shut down and the aircraft remained still and silent as a tomb. "Mayday, mayday," Sully said the words that inform air traffic control of an emergency. The controller proposed going back to LaGuardia or divert to the Teterboro Airport in New Jersey, but Sully decided immediately. He knew they wouldn't be able to get to either airport. The decision was clear, albeit unthinkable, otherwise they would try to make an emergency landing in Hudson River. Sully addressed the passengers over the intercom, his voice calm and steady. "Brace for impact." In the cockpit, Sully and Skiles were completely in sync and guided the bare airplane to the river while losing power. When this aircraft was descending, New Yorkers both on the streets, as well as on ferries, looked stunned and horrified at the same time. At precisely 3, to be more precise, on January 31st p.m., Mr. Sully managed to taxi the plane over the Hudson River in New York, in what others described later as a perfect water landing. The plane impacts the water with a throttling sound. For a second, the plane listed heavily to one side. Suddenly, it rise upright, a near impossibility. Confusion was the order of the day when water started to trickle into the cabin. Yet Sully, his crew, and the passengers were able to fly out with a fairly level head. The evacuation started, involving people trying to jump into the wings of the aircraft or using the inflatable raft available in the plane. The ferry operators near it did not waste any time running their boats towards the downed plane to evacuate the passengers. Sully, as a true captain, was the last to exit the plane, walking up and down the aisle twice to see whether anyone was still on board. Members survived. Everyone called the landing miracle on the Hudson, and Sully became the most popular man in America. Nevertheless, Sully himself was reserved. Most of the moving moments belonged to him and his co-pilot, the flight attendants, the rescuers who made this possible. Cops who later investigated the occurrence turned out to agree with Sully, noting that his alertness and wealth of experience helped to save everyone on board. This event also led to improvements within the aircraft transport safety, such as enhanced practice of bird strike aversion. The recent successful hijack attempt by Somali pirates and Captain Sully's brave action makes a rather good example to explain what courage, prompt decision-making, and teamwork are. People now know the story of Flight 1549, which remains a record of the wonderful potential in every man which comes out powerfully when faced with certain death.